Hey friends, Lee Brown here with My Kitchen, My Rules, and I have had a request to make fried chicken, and since apparently on quarantine we're just going to eat all the unhealthy stuff at one time, I'm just going to keep on making all the things I know how to make. And yes, if we're going to make fried chicken, you do see Texas Pete on my countertops. If you live somewhere where you don't have Texas Pete, well, I feel sorry for you. You should go get some, because I can't answer for Tabasco and these other hot sauces. They're not as good as Texas Pete. So you should eat it on your scrambled eggs and everything. But anyway, to have our cocktail to make fried chicken, you need something southern. And that looks like water. So if you're having your Baptist Bible study over, you can drink that and they won't know. But what's really in it is my cat head honeysuckle vodka. And I heard from some of y'all went to the liquor store and got some and found out how good this is, right? So go Mississippi, and thank you for bringing us a good vodka. And then I just mix mine with water because I really just want to slim it down just a little bit, you know, keep my figure trim. So what we're going to do is we'll get our casserole dish here, and what we're going to start with is you have to get your chicken ready. Now I buy drummies because my family likes legs, and we're going to do as many as our dish will hold. These are pretty fat ones. I got them from the Lowe's Foods. I imagine you can get them from your abattoir too, or from your local grocery store. Doesn't really matter. I do like the chickens that aren't covered up in hormones, and because I have teenagers in the house. We've got plenty of hormones around here. What we're gonna do next is put a little coating of pepper on the top. And then after we do a little bit of pepper, we're gonna do a little bit of seasoning salt. The one I'm using right now that's been pretty good was given to me by the Michigan realtors, or some group of realtors in Michigan. I can't remember which ones exactly, and I'm sorry that I forgot. I think it was probably the ones that took me up to Mackinac Island this year, because that's the coolest place I've ever been. I could totally live on Mackinac Island. And Sarah Lippman's, we are going to have family vacation up there when they let people vacation again. But it is a salt mix that's really tasty. So we'll put that on top. You can use any of the Lowry's mixes or garlic salt. I don't know, whatever all you want to use. There's an Asian mix that's real good. This one says it has salt, garlic, and black pepper, and it's got a picture of Michigan on the back. So then we're going to flip all our legs over. See, that sounds like a gymnastics class. Why don't you do a workout while you're making your chicken? You say you flip your legs over. And then what we're going to do is probably easy for you geniuses out there to guess. We are going to put, what? Salt and pepper on the other side of our legs. So they're seasoned all the way around. And that's the easy way to make sure that your chicken does have some flavor. And really, most everything, salt and pepper does the trick. There's people that will try to sell you a whole cupboard full of spices and herbs, and there's not but a dozen that I use on a regular basis. And then as soon as we get all of our legs seasoned, we're gonna get some buttermilk. I have Turner's, you know, in honor of Bob and Wendy Turner in Memphis, and Turner's is a good buttermilk. And then we're just gonna cover them up. All right, so this looks weird to those of y'all that aren't Southern, but Southerners get it. Yankees just deal in and understand this is good stuff. And again, I don't measure, as y'all know, just put on the amount that looks about right. Then I want you to put some saran wrap on it, throw it in the refrigerator, and leave it for several hours to overnight, however much time you have. But as much time as you can give it, the better it's gonna get. And I'll see y'all in just a little bit for the next step. Okay friends, it's time for step 2, making your fried chicken. So this is where it gets kind of complicated and super messy. So if you don't like a mess, frankly, you should cut this off right now and find something else to eat for supper, or go to KFC or the Bojangles, or as we lovingly refer to it, Bojangles, and just give it up, all right? So what we're gonna do next is get our dry dredge together. So you need about 3 cups or thereabouts of all-purpose flour. I've never tried to use self-rising in this before. I can't imagine it would work out real well, because that is for bacon, and we don't really need that right now. So we're gonna get 3 cups of flour. And by the way, while we're getting our flour in our dry dredge, you need to have your cast iron skillet on the stove filled up 1/3 of the way with oil. That's a lot of oil. It's like most of your container. Peanuts probably your best bet. If you have an allergy in the house, use vegetable. But it needs to be able to handle the temperature. I'm using my grandmother's cast iron skillet here. If you're lucky, you have your grandma's cast iron skillet. If you're unlucky, you could buy one off an estate sale. There's plenty of old people passing these days. I'm back on a peanut gallery laughing over here. And when the old people get to cast iron, if they hadn't used it in a long time, it's not hard to season it up. You have to get a bunch of salt and you rub it out with a paper towel. You don't ever wash your cast iron in soap. That would be stupid, in which case you're not qualified to own cast iron. So we got a half a cup of cornstarch in there as well. And now we're going to add in, well, we need some paprika. And you can use the amount that you like. You can use enough to where you can look at it. For me, that's probably, I don't know, a tablespoon or thereabouts, maybe a little more. And then we need some onion powder. And we'll use about the same amount we did of paprika, so maybe a tablespoon, a little more. And then we're going to need some garlic powder. And again, tablespoon, maybe a little bit more, depends on how much you like garlic. And as usual, I'm using McCormick spices. They did not pay me to do so, and they probably should have. That would be very kind of them. And let's add in some pepper as well, because you frankly can never have enough pepper unless you don't like spicy foods, in which case I feel sad for your heart. So that's what we have there. And now we're going to mix it up a wee tiny bit. I forgot to get my fork over here, so we'll use my paring knife to mix it up. Just even it out a little bit. This is nothing fancy or technical. You're just going to get the paprika. Frankly, the paprika and the pepper will tell you if you have mixed it up enough. So that's going to be our dredge for the dry part. The next thing we need to do is make our egg wash. And so that's going to be 3 eggs. Let's put 3 eggs in this bowl. Now I'm using one of my flatter bowls because frankly they're better for dredging. You want to have not everything to land down in the bottom all by itself because it would be lonely. So let's do 3 eggs, and then we're going to add in,
I got 2 more.
I have to think when I put my eggs in. I'd be glad when Timmy gets the chicken coop going and we have fresh eggs here at the house. So we got the eggs. We're going to put in some Texas Pete. I warned y'all earlier you need Texas Pete. And you put in as however much you want. And I don't know if this is what makes Nashville hot chicken or not, but it's what makes chicken good, I can tell you that. And use a, I don't know, tablespoon or thereabouts, which apparently is my measuring for all of this. And put in some pepper, because you should. And then we need a little bit of salt. Let me get my table salt. You know I prefer kosher for things, but for this one we're going to use table salt because it goes better into the crust on the outside. That maybe was a half a tablespoon. You know, about yay much. I think in the Justin Wilson world, you know, he would measure it. But I am not that talented. So I just make stuff up as I go because it's my kitchen, my rules. So let's whisk that up and get the eggs busted up good. And then we're going to put in a little bit more buttermilk. Now you have buttermilk on your chicken earlier. I don't know, half a cup or thereabouts. I'll show y'all what color it's supposed to look like after you mix it in. That's what it's going to look like, which basically looks like French toast material, except I don't think you really want Texas Pete in your French toast unless you're very, very odd. All right, so that's our egg wash. Now, our next step, and by the way, this whole time, we've had our oil heating over here, and it ain't there yet. You want to make sure your oil's hot enough, but it's going to make a mess. It's going to go all over the kitchen. So let me get it right, because if your oil's not hot enough when you put the chicken in, it won't cook all the way to the bone. And let me tell you something, friends. You might like your filet mignon rare. We don't do rare chicken. That's a terrible idea. So let's get our oil hot enough. And then what we're going to do is take our chicken, which, doesn't that look pretty? Oh yes, been in the refrigerator for some several hours. We are going to take that and we are going to put it in the flour dredge first, then the egg dredge, then the flour, and then we're going to put it in the pan. Now it's going to fry in there for maybe 10 minutes or thereabouts before it's done. So let's take a pause while the oil heats up, when I would have a commercial if I had any sponsors. If you know somebody, you know, totally let them know, and we'll be right back. All right, friends, here we go. It's the messy part, but you know it takes messy to make good. So we're going to take our chicken out of this nice buttermilk marinade. We're going to dredge it in the flour, get it nice and covered up. Make a huge mess in my kitchen. Was trying not to look at it because, Lord, it takes a lot to clean the house up. And this dirty like 10 minutes later. It's very aggravating how that works. Put it back in the flour. You can cover it and roll it if you want. And let's get one and get number two. And you can throw them in one at a time. I like to put them all in at the same time so I know how long they have been in the oil cooking, from the flour to the egg wash, and back to the flour again. And oh, that's so beautiful. Ooh. Look, if y'all aren't hungry looking at this at home on your computers, then I probably can't help you. You might be watching this at the wrong time of day, although I don't think I really watch cooking things unless I'm hungry. That's the same reason I get on Pinterest. Y'all might be the same way. My husband likes to say that Pinterest was created to make women cook and clean and sew again, and I can't say that he's wrong, because Pinterest has made me cook and clean and sew a whole lot more than I did before they invented that particular network. And I bet I can get an amen from y'all on that one. But I hadn't made a whole lot of sewing videos because, frankly, I can't beat that Katie woman making her masks. And although I found out she ain't real, that's to celebrate some movie or some such. I don't know. All right, so let's put 4 pieces of chicken in to our frying pan here. You hear it? Yes, friends, you can hear it from where you at. All right. My cast iron pan holds 3, so we're going to have a couple of batches. Check my watch here, about 10 minutes till it's cooked to the bone. Now to flip it over, I use tongs. I believe that's what they're for. They're much more helpful for that than for things like salads. We ain't eating salad around here. We're having fried chicken. We'll see y'all in a minute.